When we think about the teachings of Jesus, one of the most radical and enduring messages is his command to love our enemies. This idea stands in stark contrast to the natural human instinct for self-preservation and retaliation. Yet Jesus didn't just talk about loving our enemies. He demonstrated it in his words, his actions, and ultimately, in his sacrifice. In the Sermon on the Mount, found in the Gospel of Matthew, Jesus presents a new way of living. He says, "You have heard that it was said, 'Love your neighbor and hate your enemy.' But I tell you, love your enemies and pray for those who persecute you." With these words, he challenges his followers to rise above the old law of retaliation, an eye for an eye, and embrace a higher calling. This teaching is not just about being passive or avoiding conflict. It's a call to active goodwill, even toward those who wish us harm. But why did Jesus emphasize loving our enemies? He understood that responding to hatred with hatred only perpetuates cycles of violence and division. Instead, he invites us to break the cycle by responding with compassion. When we love our enemies, we reflect the character of God, who causes his sun to rise on the evil and the good and sends rain on the righteous and the unrighteous. In other words, God's love is impartial. By loving those who are difficult to love, we become more like him. Jesus didn't just leave this teaching as a theory. Throughout his ministry, he put it into practice. He associated with tax collectors, sinners, and even Roman centurions, people who were considered enemies by many in his community. He forgave those who betrayed him and those who mocked him. Perhaps the most powerful example came at the end of his life. As he hung on the cross, enduring unimaginable pain and humiliation, he prayed for his executioners, saying, "Father, forgive them, for they do not know what they are doing." In that moment, Jesus modeled the very love he called his followers to embody. Loving our enemies doesn't mean excusing harmful behavior or allowing injustice to persist. Instead, it's about seeing the humanity in every person, even those who oppose us. It's about choosing empathy over enmity, forgiveness over resentment. This kind of love is transformative. It has the power to heal wounds, restore relationships, and build bridges where only walls once stood. Practically, loving our enemies might look like refusing to retaliate when we're wronged. It might mean praying for those who gossip about us at work or showing kindness to someone who has hurt us. It could involve reaching out to someone with whom we have deep disagreements, seeking to understand their perspective rather than simply defending our own. These acts are not always easy. In fact, they can be some of the hardest things we're ever asked to do. But according to Jesus, this is the path to true greatness. In a world